what a beautiful morning. Started out really misty and it's just started to clear now. We've got blue skies, so it's a good time to start planting some winter veg. I've been planting spring onions, some leeks, I've got some spinach. In terms of spacing, I tend to put these out at 3 per row like this. Spacing for that, I do it at 300 mils, which is, for me, that's 200 and that's 100. So I know if I don't have anything with me to measure with, I just go like that. That's 300 mils or 1 foot in old money. So I just go 3 per row, and the same here as well. Luckily for me, that's also about 300 mils. So it's just a good way of doing it all. I do that for pretty much everything, unless it takes up a lot of room. Things like potatoes tend to take up a bit more room. But yeah, other than that, 300 mils works well for me. So I'm going to keep going with this. This is some kale down here and some celery that I've just put in. You can see from the holes, I plant these things quite deep. I do that with all the plants. It's deliberate. It just makes watering a lot easier. Might also give them a bit of a protection from the elements, I guess, being a bit deeper. But yeah, eventually the compost just falls in and fills out the holes anyway. These are Brussels sprouts. I only planted them a week or so ago, and they're getting absolutely hammered, as you can see. In fact, there's a caterpillar. Where is it? There it is. There's a caterpillar right there. It's white butterfly that would be laying eggs and getting caterpillars on them. I didn't bother covering them because I thought, like, it's the last month before winter. I like to we're in the southern hemisphere and it's May. Since I'm from England, and therefore I sort of translate months into northern hemisphere terms. So in my head, this month is November. In November in England, you would not bother. You wouldn't need any protection from white butterfly. They're long gone. It's too cold. They'd be dead. But not so here. They're still thriving by the look of it. Maybe next month they'll stop. I'm going to try and leave them uncovered, and we'll see what happens. If I'm hoping this cooler weather will come and it will kill off the white butterfly. If not, they'll get demolished. But actually, a lot of the other brassicas are having the same issue. Pak choy, bok choy, all that sort of the Chinese cabbages, they're getting eaten. For some reason, tatsoi, completely untouched. I guess they just don't like it. I mean, this kale here is just seedlings, and you can already tell there's a few bites gone out of it, but it should be okay. Let's see how we go. This is the first cold bit of weather for the year. We had a storm last night. It was just incredible. There's something about being down here in the southern hemisphere where beneath New Zealand there's just nothing there. The oceans can just swirl around the whole of the planet unimpeded. The bus was actually vibrating in the wind. You could feel it. And it was also getting blasted, not just by the wind and the rain, but all those trees you see behind me are all pine needles. They're all pine trees with pine needles. And so they were just like sandblasting the bus. I wondered what all this noise was. And then when I got up in the morning, I could see like the grass behind me is just absolutely littered with these pine needles. One of the advantages of the storm, plenty of free firewood. My blade's about 5mm smaller than the thickness of that wood, so I'm just going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Just from that cut, I'm pretty happy with how this wood is looking inside. That's really, really beautiful. Super smooth, it's like glassy. The wood's so hard. Beautiful colour to it. Look at that. No chance you're going to get a nail in there. It's like, feels like a piece of steel. One of the things we're really struggling for here is space. And so I thought I'll get some sort of shed, and I've looked into a few different options. So option one is just, build it yourself, order the timber. The problem with that is mainly time. The second option is you can buy a kit set shed. Those are typically made out of metal. You just order them to a certain size and then construct them yourself. The problem with both of those things is they're reasonably expensive. Even if you buy a kit set shed, you've still got to pour a concrete slab for the shed to sit on, and that's expensive and time consuming again. So by far the cheapest and easier option, or at least as far as I can see, is just by buying a container. And the great thing about containers is the floor situation's solved already, just being steel, and just dump it on the ground and you're done. It's sort of an instant fix. I thought what I would do is I asked one of the container companies if they could cut openings for me, because especially when the winter comes and there's a bit more rain, it would be really, really nice just to do various projects in the dry.